You say you want a good relationship. So answer this without editing yourself. In 10 years, what do you actually want your life to look like? Not your relationship status, your life. Where do you live? How do your days feel? What are you done tolerating? Now be brutally honest for a second. Is this relationship moving you toward that life? Or are you slowly slicing pieces off yourself to keep it? If the only way this works is you shrinking your dreams, your needs, or your basic self-respect, that's not compatibility. That's self-abandonment dressed up as love. You don't lose your life in one dramatic breakup. You lose it in tiny negotiations with yourself. I'll let this go. I'll bend a little more. I'll bring it up later. Later never comes. Resentment does. Most people say, we're just not compatible when they finally snap. What they really mean is, I've been betraying myself for so long that I can't pretend this fits anymore. So let's fix the word, because the way you've been using compatibility is probably the reason you keep ending up in the same story with a different face. You've been told compatibility means we like the same things. We don't fight much. We both love coffee, pizza, and the same shows. That's not compatibility. That's shared taste. It's pleasant. It's decoration. Compatibility is not about avoiding friction. It's about whether your lives can rub against each other without grinding one of you down to dust. So here's the real definition. Compatibility is when your core values, your life blueprint, your communication, and your conflict patterns can coexist long-term without one person having to disappear. Not, do we like the same playlist? More, can our realities live in the same house without one of us constantly moving out of ourselves? First, values. Not what you post, not what you say you believe. What your life actually shows you care about. Maybe you value experiences. You'd spend on travel, learning, things that make you feel alive. Your partner values security. They panic at spending on anything that doesn't feel responsible. No one's wrong. But your financial values aren't aligned. So every vacation becomes a debate. You start hiding what you spend. They start policing. You're trying to live two different value systems in one bank account. Or you value growth, change, learning, evolution. They value comfort and sameness. If your idea of a good life is expansion and theirs is preservation, every step forward will feel like betrayal to them and every pause will feel like suffocation to you. Values compatibility doesn't mean you're identical. It means your beliefs about money, family, growth don't constantly cancel each other out. Second, life blueprint. Not, we both want a relationship. Everyone wants that. This is whether your picture of 10 years from now looks remotely similar to theirs. You want children. They don't. You tell yourself, they might change. They say, maybe one day. You build a life on a maybe about actual humans. That's not a compromise. That's a ticking bomb. Life goals compatibility means your future together doesn't require one of you to ghost her own life to keep the relationship. If your dream life makes your partner anxious, and theirs makes you feel like your lungs are shrinking, that's not just different preferences. That's structural incompatibility. Someone will pay for it with quiet resentment. Third, communication. This isn't, do we talk enough? It's, can we actually understand each other when it matters? Maybe when you're upset, you need to talk now. Your mind races, your body hums, you can't rest until it's on the table. When they're upset, they shut down and need time alone to process. Your need for closeness feels like pressure to them. Their need for space feels like abandonment to you. If you don't name this and respect it, you'll diagnose each other as too much or emotionally unavailable when actually you're just running two different operating systems. Communication compatibility doesn't mean you never misread each other. It means you're willing to learn the other person's language without demanding they abandon their own. Fourth, conflict patterns. Not, do we fight? You will fight. Two honest people will clash. What matters is how you fight and what happens afterwards. Maybe you explode, say everything in one go, and 10 minutes later you're done. You feel lighter. They shut down. Their nervous system goes into lockdown. Your intensity feels like an attack. They need hours, sometimes days to come back. Your, I just need to get it out, becomes their trauma replay. Their, I need space, becomes your old wound of being ignored. Or you can't sleep with unresolved tension. You want to talk before bed. they need to sleep on it, or they say things they regret. You feel abandoned, they feel trapped. Conflict compatibility doesn't mean you never hurt each other. It means your ways of fighting and repairing don't keep reopening the same wounds until the relationship is just scar tissue. Here's the uncomfortable part. You can be fundamentally incompatible in all 4 areas and still feel insane chemistry. You can laugh together, talk for hours, feel butterflies, have great sex, while quietly building a future that will make you both miserable. Chemistry says, I want this now. Compatibility asks, can we live with this later? Most of us were trained to pick partners based on the first and hope the second magically works itself out. And that's why your relationships don't fall apart at the beginning. They fall apart 2, 5, 10 years in, when the chemistry is still there, but the life you're actually living feels nothing like the life you thought you were building together. So picture this. Imagine a grid. One axis is chemistry. The other is compatibility. High chemistry, low compatibility. That's the situationship you can't stop thinking about, but can't build a life with. The fun disaster. Low chemistry, high compatibility, perfect on paper, safe, kind, but not what you actually want. High chemistry, high compatibility. That's a relationship you can actually live inside, where your nervous system and your future self can both breathe. The problem is, if you've spent years in self-sacrifice, you'll mistake chaos I'm used to for chemistry and calm I don't know how to receive yet for boredom. So I'm not going to ask, is he compatible with you? I'm going to ask something harder. Are you compatible with the life you say you want, or are you still designing everything around being chosen? Because here's what almost nobody tells you. Compatibility is not just between you and another person. It's between you and your future self. If this relationship keeps pulling you further from the woman you know you're supposed to become, no amount of shared hobbies or great sex will fix that. If staying means becoming smaller, quieter, easier, more convenient, you're not in love. You're in a very slow form of self-erasure. And no, open communication doesn't solve incompatibility. It exposes it. A mature partnership is 2 adults putting their real blueprint on the table. Here's the life I'm walking toward. Here are my non-negotiables. And letting the truth land. If you can't talk about where you both want to go, how you both handle conflict, what you both believe about money, family, growth, you don't have a stable relationship. You have a fragile piece built on not asking real questions. So here's your quiet test. Could you sit down with this person and say out loud the life you truly want without softening it? And would their face relax or harden when they hear it? If you picture that conversation and your stomach drops, your body already knows the answer you're trying not to say out loud. Compatibility is not whether you can survive this. You can survive almost anything. The question is whether you can stay and still recognize yourself in 10 years.